Hey, I'm doing a review on a new game called Metro 2033. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic Moscow where due to radiation, humans are forced underground into a metro system of tunnels to survive. You take control of a protagonist called Artyom, who needs to travel through the underground to save his home settlement, also known as stations, from destruction from the creatures known as Dark Ones who live on the surface. The game generally has a horror first-person feel to it. It's a little different from other games where, like Fallout 3 and Stalker, where it's not so open and it's also a lot more linear. I could possibly relate it to more of a Bioshock type game, where it uses story and cinematic events to really define the game.
We're almost there. This is the Korolev Performance Hall. It's very close to the tower. Grab your weapon! Suki, here they come.
Metro 2033 uses many different gameplay mechanics to add depth and suspense to the overall gameplay. One of the first things you get introduced to is the ammo system. The game forces us to really preserve and act cautiously on how we use our ammo, but not giving us much at all. The money system works by finding rare pre-apocalyptic munitions, which you can either sell for standard ammo, guns, or use in current weapons for more power. This method is a little flawed, but it is easy to get used to. You will also need to wear gas masks whenever you reach a radiated zone, or the surface. You are given a limited supply of oxygen. Also, during combat, your gas mask starts to get cracked, and adds another thing to worry about. I'm currently playing the prologue, where we are in a city itself and we get ambushed by demons. The developers did really well in the innovation of the HUD interface, where you don't even have one. This requires you to manually look at your watch for oxygen levels, and even use a light to look at your map and objectives. I thought this added a bit more realism to the game.
Makes it a bit tougher than the night one.
Here you can see one of many hectic moments of suspense gameplay, which is common throughout the game. The game also frequently takes control off you for the cinematics.
Okay, Eugene, you go help the men. We should move faster here. You watch the back, Artyom.
Sure, I'll help. That way we'll get to Riga in no time, right?
No, we should get out of here sooner. It's scary when they're around. And I pity them.
Them? Who them?
Can you hear them read?
Whom do you mean, them?
What are you talking about?
What the hell is going on about? Boris? Boris?
Hey, what
Underground society you meet is very compelling and adds further depth to the world. You notice this when you're listening in on conversations, watching people living their lives, and children drawing on walls. When you move from station to station, you get to see different perspectives of many people. Right now we're moving from station to station, and we run into a bit of trouble by getting run by Dark Ones.
No matter the cost. Eliminated it.
What's happening now is the game uses a lot of hallucination techniques, like used in Fear and Fear 2. It adds a really nice effect to the story, and it did really well in Fear as well. So another thing is that as part of the story, Artyom isn't getting affected by the Dark Ones, and that's another twist in the story, I guess.
Shit. Wake up, people! People! Wake up, for Christ's sake! What is... wake up! What is... Shit! It's no good! Ah! Oh, God! Ah! Shoot them! You shoot! I'll take the lever! We're all dead! Help! Artyom, it's gonna get me! Artyom! Artyom, take my shotgun! Here!
I'd also like to point out about the sound. The sound in this game is really high quality. It's probably one of the best sounds, musics, and sound effects I've had in a game in a long time. I also really enjoy the music, how it really matches with the suspense of the moment.
Empty ammo!
I reckon they did really well with that as well. This bit's around 40 minutes into the game. I've currently just played around half of it. The game so far is going pretty well. I've had noticed a couple of bugs where you don't follow a sequence right. You get into a position where you just can't do anything. Also, I would also like to point out that the human AI is just terrible. They can't follow you, and I've heard at the end of the game, there's one bit where a lot of people are having trouble with, where they need a human to follow them, and they're just not doing it. So I hope to fix that issue. Another thing I like to point out is I like how the developers made a proper PC-centered game. They added full DirectX 11, they put in full support for physics, and lighting and all that is using layer shader models, and it's all very polished, especially on PC. They also used extremely high resolution textures, I think 2000 by 2000, which is extremely high for any other game. Even Crysis doesn't use those type of high-res textures. So when you play the game, you'll notice that a lot.